Okay, we're good, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
First and foremost, we're going to say
Kahala Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rocha Kudash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone.
Yeah.
Salutations to the elect, preaching this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth.
Yeah.
To get Isaiah 3.
Come.
Just read that chapter.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "For behold, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff."
That's right. The stay and the staff is talking about the scriptures, because when you're old, when you're feeble, or when you're injured, you need a staff to help keep you balanced. Something like a crutch.
Yeah.
You know, and Israel, without the law, statutes, and commandments, we're lost sheep. We're unbalanced. You know, we're more prone to doing wickedness and getting caught up into the getting caught up in the heathens' wickedness and their customs and in their traditions. You know, that's why in Egypt, you know, during the 40 years in the wilderness, you know, over an amount of time, eventually Israel, you know, got fed up or lost faith, got weak, and forced Aaron to make them evade gods to serve.
And idols.
Right? Because at the time, the interesting thing is at the time, what was Moses doing? He was, collecting the scriptures.
Yes, you know, at the time Moses was having a conversation with the Lord,
exactly.
You know, on the laws and the statutes and commandments, you know, and the end, you know, and the end days.
Yeah.
You know, our people were not patient to wait for Moses to come down, man. You know, and so they, you know, and so they pressured Moses into, you know, making idols for them.
Yeah.
You know.
Aaron.
Yeah. Kind of like Aaron.
Yeah.
You know. Right.
They lose patience, man. That's why that's why our job is that important, man. We have to make sure we're out here every week and making videos every week. Because, you know, Israel needs to be constantly looked after, reminded.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's a reason why the scriptures always repeat themselves. That's why the Lord has repeat, like when you read from the book of Genesis, like, you know, for example, like, you know, the Torah, right? You know, like the first 5 books, right? And even, you know, like throughout the whole scriptures, when you read it, like when you read it constantly, right? Like you actually, you know, come to a point where it's like, man, like they repeat themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it's because, right?
Yeah.
It's because our people need to be reminded every single day, man. Every single day. Don't do that. It's just like a child, man.
Yeah.
You can't just tell them once. They will literally forget.
Yeah.
You know, they will, you know, acknowledge it, be like, yeah, cool, but then they will forget a moment later, man.
You know, and there's so much factors to that statement, because we have to consider also the environment they're in. If we were in the kingdom, we're going to have to remind them so much, because everything that's surrounding them complements the scriptures to stay righteous.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear this, when we preach the scriptures now, you know, it's just a perfect example is people going to church. They go to church, in that environment, they're as holy as they can be. As soon as they leave that environment, they go back to their wickedness. You know, it's the same thing, the same idea with these scriptures. We constantly have to repeat ourselves, okay, to constantly remind Jake that this is how you gotta be, this is what you gotta do, this, that, and the third. Because this environment is that wicked. We live in a cesspool. And you know, Satan's like a ravaging lion. Devour what we may seek.
Yeah.
You know, so
I got a scripture. Yes, I got a scripture. This is the book. You know, just talk about that. Yeah, you know, because I was waiting for it. I was like, man, I was like, yo, there's a scripture for that, man, but I just didn't know how we went. But then, you know, to what the Lord, you know, I found it. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 12. It's a lot right there with me. Proverbs chapter 12, verse. Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. It says, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them.
Ooh,
Right?
that's
You know?
beautiful.
Because it's like, just exactly like, what you said. Like we might be in this, like we might be righteous, let's say, right? Lord, you have a that we are of the elect, right? But because we're dwelling in this wicked society with our neighbors, which is our people, their ways are going to seduce us into also committing, the same wicked thing. Like, like the thought process will come through your mind because you're amongst them.
Yeah,
I'll read it again. It says, the righteous is more, Proverbs chapter 12, verse 26. Proverbs 12, verse 26, it says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them.
And man, the scriptures talk about the wiles of the devil, man.
Yeah.
That's like, in other words, there's many ways Satan comes at you, man. There's many ways Esau comes at our people to keep them in the dark and keep them away from the light, which is the understanding of these scriptures.
Yeah.
And he's doing it, whatever he's doing to the 2/3 of Israel, he's doing that to the 1/3 times 100. Because that's the real, because 2/3 is already in the world.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Going back to the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 1, it says, for behold, the Lord Yahweh of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water. The mighty men and the men of war, the judge and the prophets and the prudent and the ancient, the captain of 50, and the honorable men, and the counselors, and the cunning artificer, and the elegant orator. And I will give children to be their princes, and babes shall rule over them.
Yo, that is real. You look at that, man, you look at a good example of that. And that's why we're in the state we are, because babes and children rule over us.
Yeah, are the evil ones.
Yeah, because even within Israel, the elders of Israel, they should be teaching us. Like for instance, a household. You have the father, the mother, and the children. That father needs to make sure he's teaching his children, okay, most importantly, his son, if he has sons, the truth of who they are, their heritage, the scriptures. But if the father's not doing that, it's because most likely he doesn't even know how to be that kind of man yet. Most of our fathers are actually boys still. And it's a harsh reality, but it's a reality. Why else would they leave the household? Why else would they, for example, in this kingdom, every man should know that you shouldn't be dealing with more than one woman. Because all that does is put hell on your children. As a man, if you cheat on your wife more than once, all over and over, the anger that she develops from the actions you do is gonna reflect on the children. She's a woman. She's gonna take it on the kids because you're not around.
Yeah, you look just like your father.
I'm just gonna say that. You look like your damn daddy. You even talk like him walking. Boy, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah.
They be doing that.
Yeah.
But the father should know better. Okay, I gotta be diligent because whatever I do can reflect on my children.
Yeah.
That's just one example. But most of the men in Israel, even though by age and by appearance they look like men, eternally by wisdom alone they're babes.
Yeah, you're very right.
Right?
You're very right. And wisdom comes from pretty much all ages, man.
Yeah.
Like just because you're older doesn't mean that a younger brother can't tell you what's right or what's wrong. You know what I mean? For example, like Daniel. In the book of Susanna, Daniel was just a young boy, and the Lord rose him up to speak the truth about what happened, that Susanna did not commit adultery. And at that time, Daniel confounded the elders of Israel, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
You know, the two old men, you know, they were, you know,
Yeah,
pretty
that's
much,
true.
right, you know, they wanted to play tricks and say, you know what, we didn't do it, you know, she should be put to death. But no, Daniel, you know, rose up, you know, through the spirit of Yahweh Shai to correct them, man.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, just because you're older, it doesn't mean that you're wise, man. You know, like
Yeah,
even the scripture says, you know, something about how that, what's that scripture? Salaka, you know.
Well, like how young should we teach?
Yeah, like it talks about. Oh, it says, you know, you know, it says like, you know, it says that, you know, I'm a great men are not always wise,
Kind.
right?
Yeah, great. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, and a good example, Yahushua was 12 when he was arguing with doctors of the law.
Lawyers.
Yeah, lawyers, man. 12 years old.
Yeah.
Bro, I was in the mud at 12. You know, PB and J at night, craft dinner for, you know, for supper, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show you, man, age in this society, you know, as unfortunate as it is, age in this society just measures expectations. That's all it does. Because if you're 50, you expect that this person would be a man of wisdom. But it's not always so.
It's not always so.
Like
yes.
you said.
Yes.
So it just measures expectations, you know?
Yeah. You're right, huh? Very, very true, bro. Huh. Going back here in the book of Isaiah chapter 3, I'll start from verse 5. It says, and the people shall be oppressed. So like, I'll start from verse 3. It says, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 3, the captain of 50 and the honorable men, and the counselors, and the cunning artificer, and the elegant orator. And I will give children to their princes, and babes shall rule over them. You know, this is another scripture, this is a precept to that. Obadiah, verse 3, it says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. You know, those were the babes, man, the Edomites. You know, because when you read Obadiah 1:1, it says the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord concerning Edom. You know, the Lord made Edom small among the heathens, man.
And the Most High compared the heathens to a drop, a spit in the bucket. So imagine how low Esau is.
Yeah. You know, but they're ruling over us, which goes to show the power of the Lord, that He's the one that ruleth in the kingdom of men, and He giveth it to whomsoever He will. You know, just like how it says in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, I believe. You know, and it says, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 4, or so like verse 5, and the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. You know, and we see that today even amongst our people, man. You got young jakes who will literally slap the shit out of their mothers, man, or their grandparents, man. You know, they should be put to death for that, man. The scripture says that you have to give honor unto thy father and thy mother, regardless of how off they are. You still have to respect them because they're the ones that brought you into this world through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. You know,
if you can't respect who they are as a person, respect their title.
Yeah, exactly.
Your title
That's
is your father, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, but you got a lot of our people, and then they will do these things, and then they will put it on Wallstar. Right, and then you got, you know,
top of that,
right?
public.
Exactly, you know, they'll make it public, and then when you read the comment boards, you got a lot of jakes who will laugh at that, man. You know, when they should really, you know, be getting on that individual, man. You know, that's going off.
Yeah. You know, even among people that are of your age, you know, they you know, because for us, like for me, for example, I'm 25, and when I speak to, you know, certain people that I know from in the world that are of my age, you know, they don't respect you because they think, well, you're the same age as me. What do you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't understand that. Again, it's all about internal wisdom.
Yeah.
What do you? Yeah, like again, yeah, I am 25 according to Esau's calendar. I'm 25, right? But internally, how do you act?
Exactly.
You know, I could technically listen. I thought about this. If one day to the Lord is 1,000 years to us, and we're born again Christians, and I was born again for about, I came to the truth when I was 20, so 5 years. Technically, to all these people, I'm 5,000 years older than them. because they're in the world, right? So it's a huge difference. They're only looking at the exterior of you, and then they'll say things like, you know, I don't like you. I don't like you because you like to play God. Can you judge? It's like, okay, let me give you an example. Do you have awareness? Yes. So can you make judgments without having awareness? Yes. No. Exactly. You have to judge, you know, but it's all about emotions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Because
all about emotions.
yeah, because the whole thing about it is that people, they shy away and they get angry, because they understand that, yo, this person is putting me in my place.
Yes.
Because, you know,
he looks like me, he's the same age as me.
Exactly. Because you know, that's the thing. People don't like to be put in their place, because you gotta understand that in this society they tell you that do whatever your heart tells you. Literally, like whatever you feel in your heart, do that. You know. But the scripture says that the heart is deceitful above all things, and so with you doing that, that leads into you becoming more proud. But then when you have someone that will literally humble your ass by words of the scriptures, you will automatically attack them and feel threatened, man. And so then people literally take that as if you're actually hunting them down, man.
You know? Coming at me.
Exactly. But when really it's to put you in order, man. You know, but people don't want to be put in order, man.
That's why the scriptures say, rebuke a man of understanding,
and he will love you.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he'll love thee.
Yeah, you know, rebuke a righteous man and he will love thee, man.
Yeah,
you know?
Righteous.
You know?
And, you know, that just comes down to sincerity, man. Isaiah 66 talks about a contrite spirit.
Yeah, contrite spirit.
So, if you're rebuking someone who's not in the truth, the only thing that's going to make them righteous is their sincerity.
Yeah.
So if you rebuke them and they can't take in, and they're not sincere enough to take in what you're rebuking, especially if it's real and it's true, then they're not gonna. Then they're wicked. Then.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because it's all about their insecurities.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
If you're insecure and sincere, we can work with that.
Yeah.
If you're insecure and you're not sincere, oh well, you're just wicked.
Yeah. Very true. Because a lot of people, it's not even that. It's not even about the rebuke. It's just the fact that they feel like you can't tell me shit. Like they don't even actually consider to hear what you're saying if it might be true. You know, it's just like the same thing, man. It's like when you both get into an argument, for example, right? Like with your woman, right? And you were the one who went off, right? Do you understand how hard it is for some people to actually go and say, you know what, I'm sorry, babe, you know, I'm the one who fucked up. Like, even though sincerely deep down they know that it's their fault, it's so hard. So now, you know, can you imagine an outsider, you know, saying that to you? Someone that doesn't know you. They'd be like, yo, get the fuck away from me, man. You know what I mean? They will literally be like, yo, get the fuck away, man. You know? And so it's like, that's how this world is, man. People are going, you know, on their own path. That's why the scripture says, he that is wicked, let him be wicked. And he that is righteous still, let him be righteous still. At the end of the day, bro, you just got to do your part and that's it. Work out your own salvation. You know? You're not going to come into this truth with your best friend holding hands, man. It's not going to work. You know? It's not going to work because what? The Spirit is the one that divides and shows the truth of each individual. This word right here is what literally, okay, shows you like this is who this person really is, man.
Hebrews 4, the discerner of the spirits.
Exactly, man. You know?
That's crazy, it's funny.
It says, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 6, it says, when a man shall take hold of his brother, of the house of his father, saying, thou hast clothing, be thou our ruler, and let this ruin be under thy hand. In that day he shall swear, saying, I will not be a healer, for in my house is neither bread nor clothing. Make me not a ruler over the people. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord Yahweh, to provoke the eyes of his glory. You know?
Which is, you know, a part of that is the angels, man. The angels are the eyes of the Most High. You know, and so they're constantly you know, looking at every Israelite, seeing what they're doing, and reporting back to the Most High.
Yeah.
Well, to Yahweh Shai and then to the Most High.
Yeah, and like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, what was he
Yeah.
thinking? Because
Yeah.
they can't understand what it is like to go off. Angels don't understand that.
Yeah.
They're perfect. They're literally perfect. Just like how, you know, the scriptures and the laws are going to be in our inward parts in the kingdom. We will literally be perfect.
Yeah.
We won't know what it's like to go off.
Yeah.
You know, we know that right now. You know, hence why, you know, we're going through this trial and tribulation and so on and on now, so that we can understand both sides.
Yeah.
But in the kingdom, we're going to be perfect. And so when the angels record, you know, your everyday doings and your thoughts and this and that, they'll be like, yo, this guy is wicked. Yo, that's why the angels love to do the bidding of the Lord, man. They love it so much. Yo, they're like, Lord, please let me go deceive that wicked prophet. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, it's like, it's just what they want to do so bad, man, is to do the bidding of the Lord. If you're wicked and the Lord sent an angel to destroy you, they love that shit, man. You know? So it's like, man, you gotta understand, man, that everything matters, man, and the angels watch and see every single thing. So you better be on your best behavior. So, you know, that's why the scripture says that for some has entertained angels unawares.
Unawares,
right?
yeah,
Unawares. You gotta be on your best behaviors, man.
Very true,
right?
man.
Yo, it's funny, bro. But it's
funny because they're always watching.
Yeah,
You never know where they
always.
are.
You never know, bro. You never know. You know? So, hey, it's the same thing, right? It's like, you know, like when you're an athlete, right? Like you want to get that scholarship, right? Yo, you gotta play every game like it's your last. You gotta be on your best behaviors.
On and off the court.
Right, on and off the court, you gotta be the best, man. Because, for example, right, like when you see an athlete, you know, fall down on the court, even though you might not like that athlete, you gotta go pick him up, right?
Yeah,
because coaches and scouts, they're always there watching and jotting down notes, man, you know? So, for example, in this situation, the scouts are like the prophets, man, you know? They're there, they see everything, man. You know, you can't fuck up, man, because if you want to get that scholarship, right, to play for that particular school, right? Exactly, right? Right? If you want to get that scholarship, you better be on your best behaviors at all times on and off the court, man. You know? It says right here, it says, in that day shall he swear. Oh, I already read this. It says, verse 8, for Jerusalem is ruined and Judah is fallen, because their tongue and their doings are against the Lord to provoke the eyes of his glory. It says, verse 9, the show of their countenance doth witness against them. The countenance.
Yeah,
a man may be known by his look.
Look, you look at Gad, for instance, man. Gad is sick.
Yeah.
He looks sick. Jake, overweight, you know, fake hair.
Yeah, out of shape.
Out of shape. They get hairlines,
Yeah.
you know, shape up their beards,
Committing
adultery,
multiple times.
wearing brand name things, all this type of, they're very, like, you know, for lack of a better word, bougie.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have their beards. They're either like men of Israel either look like twigs or overweight.
Yeah, they're not in order.
They're not in order. You know, there's so much you can go about to know that these guys, that Israel is not in agreement, one agreement with the Most High.
Yeah.
Yahweh Shai.
Yeah, it's just one thing, like, I don't understand, how can you not want to be in order? Like, having set rules is what keeps you maintained and keeps you walking on that path, as in, if you do something outside of your order, you should worry, man. You know, but you got people who just want to roam around and do whatever the hell they want. Now you're more, what's the word? You're like, you know, pretty much like, you know, you are more highly,
You have a higher chances.
yeah, exactly, right? Like, you have a higher chance of falling into different philosophies because you're just out there.
Yeah, you're just
you know?
out there, yeah.
You don't have a strict role. You don't have a strict path.
Yeah.
Knowing what you're supposed to do as a man of the Lord, or as an Israelite, or as a helper, you know?
Yeah.
Understand your role, man. But Jake just want to do whatever the hell they want, and so then that leads them into pretty much falling into a ditch, man.
Yeah. Just like the scripture you read in Proverbs 12 and 26.
Yeah.
They get seduced easily.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. The way of the wicked seduces them.
Yeah.
it says, the show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. And
that's what you just said. They're saying that they'll do unruly things and then put the shit on World Star.
yeah,
Entertainment.
yeah, exactly. And it says, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. And we see that today, man. It's literally, it's like, if you come, like for example, that one, like Young Jake rapper, Lil Nas or something.
Oh,
like that.
Lil Nas, yeah.
Yo, just like a few days ago, he came out and he said he was gay. You know what I mean? And so you know what, people ask him, why did you do it now when you're at the top? And he said, well, I just want people to know. And he said that because in his neighborhood, in the hood, like where he grew up, that was pretty much, I'm a spoken, exactly, I'm a spoken against, I'm a frowned upon, man, But guess what? He's getting all the praises now, man. People love him. People love him for that. Now, what kind of people? The same wicked people, man.
Yeah,
the same wicked people.
Righteous people are cursing that motherfucker.
Exactly, man. And so it's like now, bro, you get to be put on top of the world for saying you're a fucking homosexual or you're a part of the LGBTQ, LGBT, ABC, whatever the fuck letter is out there. You know what I mean? I don't even know what the fuck. Like they just keep adding letters to it every fucking year, man. And so it's like, people love that shit, man. Wicked people, because there's more wicked people. But that's why it says that they declared their sin as Sodom, man. What was happening in Sodom and Gomorrah? The same fucking shit, man. It's the same thing repeating itself. Because it's the same spirit coming back, repeating the same thing, as in, doing the same thing as in their lots.
Yeah.
That's what they were,
That's what they're set up to do.
Exactly.
Folly set in Greek.
Exactly. Fuck, man, that's crazy, man. Like that kid came out and said he was fucking gay.
That's crazy. And you know what, man? Even also to add to that, these rappers, I think they're smart because they most of them, I believe that most of them come out because they've already sold out.
Exactly.
They already sodomized themselves, so they might as well come out. So if anything leaks out, they're like, well, you knew prior that I was homosexual.
Yeah.
Trying to really cover their tracks.
Yeah. Or like they just want to get paid more.
Yeah, get paid more. Yeah,
Right?
because in this society now, benefits and jobs and money are more prone to be are more prone to homosexuals and women.
Yeah.
Really, just them too, because homosexuals are women. At the end of the day, So and that's how it is.
Yeah, that's true, man. We're living here. I remember last night, like, I went to visit, this one family member, right? Like with my woman, and like we're watching the show that she had on TV, right? And I forget what the show was called, but it was about black women, and they all come together and they talk. But then there's a lot of fucking like gays, like just weird, like. This one woman had a deep ass voice, like, yo, that's a fucking man. That's a fucking man right there, right? You know what I mean? You're not like that voice is like permanent, you know what I mean? So it's like, you're not changing that, you know what I mean? But, pretty much, at the end, it's like, they were talking, and there was just a lot of confusion, man. I was a boy, now I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, we're at the end. Because this is exactly what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, and what happened. It got destroyed, man. But today, it's in a larger scale. It's all over the fucking world, man.
That's crazy, man. And, not to speak too much, we'll get back to the scriptures, but like thinking about brimstone, fire and brimstone, that's heavy.
Missiles.
That's a missile. That's the olden time missile.
Ancient day missiles.
Yeah, ancient day missiles.
But came straight from the Lord.
Came straight from the Lord. This time
like
He's making us manufacture them.
Yeah, so that you can destroy yourself.
Come. And that was just like on a city. This is gonna be happening across the world, man.
Yeah.
So it's, man, like, and I don't know how many years, that couple thousand years from then to now, but honestly, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that long ago. So that much wickedness has
true.
multiplied
Very
in such a
true.
short amount of time.
Yeah.
That now the Most High has missiles created for the world instead of just one part of it.
Exactly. You know, like when the scripture says in the book of Maccabees, when Antiochus came into rule, wicked was multiplied upon the earth, right? And so, you know, from that time until now, you know, Esau has been spreading his wickedness, man. And it's cancer. You know, it's literally cancer, and it won't go away until Esau is done away with.
Yeah.
Because even in the kingdom, Esau's gonna try to, still, like do wicked shit. You know, the heathen nations, are still gonna do wicked shit. But once Esau is completely out the fucking, way, that's when, the heathen nations are gonna be in line, man. They're still gonna be subject unto sin because, the laws are not gonna be written in their, inward parts. Hence why we're gonna be judges and rulers over them, right? But once Esau is out the way, man, then we can finally breathe, man. The earth is gonna breathe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, he's suffocating us.
Because he's cancer. Like, can you imagine having cancer in your body and moving forward? Like, that shit will kill you. It will eat you, and it will kill you slowly until that cancer has been cured. Then you can literally actually, exactly, right? Be fully healthy again and move on about your day, man. And it says, the show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin of Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil against themselves.
Yo, it didn't even say woe unto them, like their flesh, but woe unto their souls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
That's deep.
Yeah. For they have rewarded evil unto themselves. So you've done it to yourself, man.
Yeah.
It says, woe unto the wicked. It shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hands shall be given him.
Yeah, reap what you sow.
As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them.
And that could have been more accurate than today, man. How much our nation, that's in direct correlation with the curses.
Yeah.
Father's out the house, the mother's teaching the children.
Yeah. Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Salakia.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
and even in that show, that I was telling you about, you had a lot of women who were saying like, I don't know what it is, but I can't attract a man that makes more money than me. You know what I mean? And it's true.
Sure.
You know why? Because the way Esau set it up,
Yeah.
women get paid more than men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so then now, because they get paid more, they feel like they wear the fucking pants.
Yeah.
It's literally
and a man that has
backwards.
more money than you, he's not going to chase you.
Exactly.
Makes no sense. Yeah, that's
right?
crazy.
Exactly. And so it's like literally what was happening just about 100 years ago is a total flip.
Yeah.
Because now women are, the ones who are the bosses,
The breadwinners, so to
exactly,
speak.
exactly. But then they always, like to throw that stats as in, like for every dollar a man makes, a woman makes less. What the fuck you mean, man? Women make more than men in general, man. Fuck that, bro. Every woman, like every woman, like every single woman, or as in general, right? Women, they play more of a role in society because Esau set them up to be in that way to destroy the household. Not that men can't do it.
Yeah.
It's just that
They have more hurdles to jump to get to do it.
Exactly.
Women is easy for women, man.
It's easy for her to get a job.
Yeah, man. Easy for her to get a job. If a woman, like, basically Esau said, yo, be single and I'll take care of you.
Exactly.
Just like
Esau's her father.
Yeah. Just like the
Their
serpent.
sugar daddy. Yeah.
Yeah, the sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Esau's pimping our women.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Just like how the snake pimped Eve.
Yeah. Hey, it's hell, but it's hell that's necessary, man, for us to go through. Because then, especially for the elect, when we get that fucking two-edged sword, man, ooh, man, you better run away, man.
When we start becoming hunters.
That's crazy. But
You said this earlier, we judge through our words, but soon time we're going to judge through our actions, man. We're not going to say anything. We're just going to get at you.
yeah, when we get that power from the Lord,
Yeah. Yeah.
when we get that power from Yahweh Bashem Shai. But but as of now, we're just fishers.
Yeah.
We will become hunters eventually.
Yeah.
That's a part of the job
Description.
description exactly. So we signed up for it. You know? Oh, the bees around me, but
Yeah, wasps are heavy to see. That's a sign though. There's something about that. Okay, that's just like, animals and the animals and insects of the world, they act up when the world's getting worse. They always act up.
hey, kind of like the scripture says, that you can learn from animals, man.
100%.
It says, as for my people, children are their oppressors. Who's those children? That's the nation of Edom, man. Children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths. The Lord standeth up to plead, and standeth to judge the people. The Lord Yahweh will enter into judgment with the ancient of his people and the princes thereof. For ye have eaten up the vineyard, and the spoil of the poor is in your houses. What mean ye that ye beat my people to pieces, to grind the faces of the poor, saith the Lord Yahweh Shemashah, power of hosts. Moreover, the Lord saith Yahweh, because the daughters of Zion are haughty, and walk with stretched forth necks and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, making a tinkling with their feet. Therefore the Lord will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord will discover their secret parts.
Yo, just 10 years ago, weeds weren't that crazy. Now, every woman, every woman has a weave, and they've gotten so good at, connecting the weave to the scalp. You think it's real, and you can't even pull it off anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's some that are obvious. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck you doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At least let me believe it's real.
Exactly.
For my own sanity.
Nigga, they usually say, man, if you got a black woman on the first date, just go swimming, man.
Yeah.
Just go swimming.
The complete truth about
It'll tell you
everything.
exactly what she looks like. Because, nowadays, bro, they cover this shit up, man, and you won't know what's what.
So true.
You know what I mean? So it's like, the reason why, our women, wear these wigs, and these weaves, because spiritually they know that having a long hair is a glory. It's literally, the glory of the woman is her hair, right? And so they try to do that because they know it, man. It's in their spirit. But the Lord took away their hair.
Yeah,
that's their glory.
Yeah, and it's crazy because some women will actually have long hair. They'll cut that shit, shave that shit short, and then put wigs on. It's like, what in the world?
Yeah.
That's the same analogy that you speak about the eyebrows.
Yeah.
They shave that shit, then draw it back on.
Yeah,
Makes no sense. That's confusion.
Yeah, it was like something like, man, you can't please this woman because God gave them eyebrows, and they shave it and then draw it back in.
Yeah, come on.
So it's like, yo.
Where do you think you stand?
Exactly,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
You don't have a chance.
And it's true, but now, they're doing that permanent tattoo or whatever, in their eyebrows, where it's like permanent.
Yeah, I think I heard about that.
What the fuck is that, oh, man.
That's why, man, women, if you're a brother who doesn't have a woman, you're burning, you're trying to you'll be very picky. Very picky and very patient. I've only been in the truth for 5 years, but I went through it. You know what I mean? You have to be patient and picky because, your woman needs to complement who you are. Not in the flesh, but who you are in the spirit. If she doesn't complement who you are in the spirit, physically, well, fuck, that says a lot about you and then your judgment skills.
Yeah. Very true.
And it's crazy because she'll do that because, if she compliments your spirit, she won't dress provocative when you guys go out.
Yeah,
and that's her representing your spirit or representing you internally, externally.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you know. That's why I say women, children, and animals are the same.
Exactly.
They follow.
Yeah, literally,
Yeah.
Man, it's so true because it's like, for example, like, she should come and ask you, babe, like, what do you think I should wear?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
And then, tell her, I want you to wear this ski pants with this
Yeah.
sweater, and let's go,
Yeah. Yeah. Put on the hijab too while you're at it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but that's how it should be, and not the other way around where she can do whatever the hell she wants, man. That's the thing, man. It's like they're confused because they want you to tell them what to do, but they also want to do their own thing on the side. Because that's the thing, man. It's like Esau is literally on the other ear, but then their spirit is telling them, like, you should follow your man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now they're just in between, like left or right.
Fighting.
Like, what should I do?
That's why women, man, at a young age. That's why, and that really happens. That really happens. That fight, that struggle really gets rampant at the age of 9 when they hit their period. And that's why when women get older, in a sense, when women hit their period, in a sense, they mature way quicker than men because they have to. They're already internally struggling with themselves and Satan, who they're to be and who Satan wants them to be, so that when they meet a man, they get all the tricks out the book to make sure he is a man, because she is hiding her chaos. She's hiding that internal chaos. No smart woman is gonna come to you and say, "Yo, this is what's going on inside of me. Can you fix it?" It's not gonna happen, because that would require them to humble themselves to you. That's not gonna happen. But they'll do little tricks. They'll shit test you. And if you're not using your judgment to put them in their place correctly, they're gonna leave, or they'll cheat on you, or they'll just misuse you. Let's say you're not a man, but you have a lot of resources. You'll be their sugar daddy while they're sleeping with a real man. Yeah, go ahead.
Like I kind of scripture about when you said, if you don't have a woman, you got to be very picky.
Yeah.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 7, verse 26. It says, "Hast thou a wife after thy mind?" That's exactly what he said, right? To actually, she has to complement your spirit, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It says, "Hast thou a wife after thy mind? Forsake her not, but give not thyself over to a light woman."
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not give yourself over to a light woman, man. Why? Because she's bugged out. She has no value. It's not heavy.
Yeah, it's not heavy.
She has no
Lightweight.
value. She's lightweight. You shouldn't, lose your shit over that. Literally, right? Because she's light. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, right? But the verses above talks about if you have a daughter at a young age, how you should raise them up. It says, verse 23, "Hast thou children, instruct them, and bow their neck from their youth."
From their youth, man.
Right? "Hast thou daughters, have a care of their body, and show not thyself cheerful toward them. Marry thy daughter, and so shalt thou have performed a weighty matter, but give her to a man of understanding."
Amen. And that sucks, because that's how ideally your father, in his right mind, will choose a man that's of his caliber or even better for you.
Yeah.
And also another point. Listen, it's women's role to constantly chase for your affection. It's literally in a woman's spirit to be like, okay, whatever I'm doing, how I dress, how I talk, how I act, is going to be in direct correlation to get compliments from him.
Exactly.
As a young daughter, they start that off with their fathers.
Yeah.
If the father's not in the house, then that's when they start holding around.
Yeah.
Because they're looking for that.
Yeah.
And that's why they're attracted to men who don't give them that, because it actually puts them in their right mind.
Yeah.
You actually have to create a certain level of anxiety to bring out the righteousness in a woman. As twisted as that sounds, but it's true. She can't always know what you're gonna do or always know what you're gonna say, which will put her in that balanced state of anxiety, which to her is excitement.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's fun.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do next?
Yeah. Exactly.
While you're just sitting there watching her play with her toys.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. You know, which is also another reason why, if you're a father, you know, it's your job, it's your role to be an example of what your daughter should look for in a husband.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, like you gotta represent, like you have to, you know, be that example because she doesn't know, right? Especially in this society, we can't do what the scriptures fully say, right? Like if you have a daughter and she wants to, you know, be with that guy, you know, right? Like in this society, bro, if they're bugged out, you just gotta let them go, man.
Yeah, that's
you know?
how it is.
But you can still do your part, man. You can still be that example of, you know, how to be a man in the household. Because then once your daughter steps away, right?
Yeah.
And and she meets a man, or and she's looking for a man, she should look for someone that's just like how her father is, man.
Yeah.
You know, rather than just any nigga out there, because hey, you know, that's it. You know, that's gonna have her hoeing around and so on and on.
You got slut makers and you got sluts. We're slut makers, man.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
I guess really what it is, man. Because, like you said,
It's like that one video, that one guy, like I forget exactly how it went, but
Yeah.
I believe it was with he was interviewing Amber Rose.
It's exactly like that. He's questioning her about her stripper life and everything like that. Yeah, 100%.
And then
funny.
yeah, and then she asked him, well, if I'm a slut, what does that make you?
You're a slut
and then
maker.
I'm a slut maker.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's where I got that from. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he fucking died, bro. That shit was funny as hell.
It's the truth. It's the truth, man. It's ironically funny because, like, the scriptures speak against that. True, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not too.
Don't be what's it called? Like a whoremonger? No.
Not a whoremonger, but
I forget.
basically don't be giving your woman. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot what it's like. That's how you know pimping is wrong.
Pimping, yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's pimping, but it has a name in the scriptures.
Yeah.
You know. Oh man.
She didn't say anything. She kept quiet when he said that.
Yeah. And it says, that was it on that one, but going back to Isaiah, right? It says, therefore the Lord, Isaiah chapter 3, verse 17, therefore the Lord will smite with the scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and the Lord, Yahweh, will discover their secret parts, right? In that day, the Lord will take away the bribery of their tinkling ornament about their feet.
Yeah, the bribery. That's deep because it's these women's clothing and their bodies they use to bribe you mentally.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, I'm of high stature. I look good, I dress good, and I work out, do all these things. So that's like almost blackmail. So you ought to do this for me.
Yeah.
Because this is the package I come in.
Yeah.
But the scriptures say that the Most High will discover the secret parts.
Yeah.
So if the Most High is dealing with you, you should be able to discover what she's hiding. The demons are in there.
Bro, it should just be common sense. If you're in this truth,
Yeah.
do not go for a woman that literally expose themselves.
Yeah.
Like they literally just expose. Like what makes you think? I don't know what it is, but it's like, of course, like you're gonna look, you're going to be right, like
Attracted.
right, like you're going to be attracted. But can you imagine your own woman out there like that? Fuck that.
Yeah, it's almost.
I don't want that to be my woman. Like,
Yeah.
okay, if she walks by, of course I'm gonna look. I'm a man, right? I'm going to look. But when you actually take that in to be in a serious, I'm a relationship
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
hell no.
Yeah,
The fuck
yeah.
no.
Because you have to remember, if you're checking her out, there's
Other
600 guys
guys
doing the same thing.
bro.
Yeah.
So if she comes out to present herself like that, bro, that's a red flag, bro.
Yeah.
Like I saw this one Instagram post, I believe it was one of the brothers, who posted it, and it's a picture of how today's women dress, right? Like all slutty, and then there's another picture of a woman who is fully covered in a long dress, right? Had had her hair covered, and like she had just a little bit of makeup on, and pretty much the post says something about I'm a woman dressed in modest apparel. This woman looks 10 times more attractive than the one that's fully exposed, man.
Yeah.
Bro, like actually, bro, like women look good when they fucking have their head covered.
Yeah, because for us men, it actually it lets us know the spirit's in the right mind.
Yeah.
They have a good spirit, have a humble spirit on them.
Exactly, and then also it puts you in a place as a man where you're not worried. Like you know what I mean, right? Because it's like, goddamn, bro, like
You're not constantly stressed out.
yeah, like like you're not worried about other men looking at your woman because it's natural for a man to get aggressive when someone else, when someone else is checking out his woman. But when your woman is fully dressed, right, her shape is not shown.
Yeah.
It puts you in a ease, mind,
ease, yeah.
right? It puts you at ease because then you're like, okay, cool. No one is looking at her. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing, man. Like, why? Why should I have to stress out about that, man?
Yeah.
But that's this society, man.
Yeah.
It says, in that day the Lord will take away the bribery of their twinkling ornaments about their feet, and their cowls, and their round tires like the moon, and the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers and the bonnets and the ornaments of the leg and the headband and the bracelets and the earrings, the things that make them beautiful.
Yeah.
The rings and the nose jewels and the changeable suit of apparel and the mantles and the wimplets and the crisping pins, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils. And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell there shall be stink, and instead of a girdle a rent, and instead of a well set hair baldness, and instead of a stomacher a girding of a sackcloth, a burning instead of beauty. So it's pretty much the total opposite of what a woman should look like to be actually beautiful, man.
Women age like milk and men like wine. That's simple, man. That's why in this society you have older men with younger women, and younger women with older men.
Yeah.
How that works.
And it says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in war, and it's like it, and thy mighty in the war, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground. That was it on that chapter.
Okay, so with that, we're going to close up. We're going to say,
Allah Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem Ruach Kudash.
no honors to the apostles and the elders of great millstone. Salutations to the elect, pushing this word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth, and death and destruction to the wicked kingdom, 2/3 of Israel, and Esau as well.
Yep.
Shalom.
Shalom.